Data protection and privacy legislation in Nepal. Data protection and privacy laws govern how personal information can be collected, stored, processed, and shared with the aim to protect individuals' privacy by ensuring that their data is handled responsibly and securely with their consent, including rights to access, rectify, and erase their personal information. Governing laws. Article 28, Right to Privacy, Constitution of Nepal. Individual Privacy Act 2018, Individual Privacy Regulation 2020, Muluki Criminal Code 2017. Background on enactment of laws relating to individual privacy. The Act and the regulation were enacted with the aim to give effect to the constitutional right to privacy on matters relating to body, residence, property, document, data, correspondence, and character of every person. To manage the protection and safe use of personal information remained in any public body or institution, and to prevent encroachment of privacy of every person. Scope of the Act. The Act strives to protect the fundamental right to privacy of every data subject individual, such as privacy of body, family, residence, property, document, data, correspondence, character, privacy of personal information through electronic means, including protection of sensitive data. It imposes obligations regarding data protection and privacy of individuals on public bodies or entities having access to such data. What is personal information? Personal information means the following information related to any person, including A. Caste, ethnicity, birth, origin, religion, color, or marital status. B. Education or academic qualification. C. Address, telephone number or address of electronic letter, email. D. Passport, citizenship certificate, national identity card number, driving license, voter identity card or details of identity card issued by a public body, or later sent or received by an individual mentioning personal information, thumb impressions, fingerprints, retina of eye, blood group or other biometric information, criminal background or description of the sentence imposed upon individual for a criminal offense or service of the sentence, and a matter of opinion or view expressed by professional or expert in the process of any decision. How to collect personal information? The Act permits only an official authorized person under law or the person permitted by such officials to collect, store, protect, analyze, process, or publish the personal information of any individual. The authorized person has to A. Fully inform the individual regarding the purpose for which the information is collected, and B. Obtain consent from such individual. While collecting information, the individual has to be provided with the following information: time of collecting information, content of information, nature of information, objective of collecting information, method and process of testing information, certainty of maintaining privacy of the collected information, and matters including the protection of the collected information. How to process and use the personal information? The Act permits the personal information collected by public entity to be processed or used upon obtaining consent of an individual. The data so collected can be used only for the purpose for which such data has been collected. However, the personal information so collected by public entity can be processed without consent of an individual in the following conditions: if there is a provision incorporated for collecting such information by the authorized person under the prevailing laws, if such information is collected during investigation or prosecution of criminal offense or under the order of the court, if it is collected or processed for the maintenance of national security or peace and order. In addition, the Act prohibits public entities to process sensitive information unless required for diagnosis, treatment, management, and delivery of health services or emergency rescue to an individual, and if an individual himself or herself makes such information public. Legal provision on transfer of data. The Act and regulation is silent on data transfers. The term transfer infers transferring personal information to the third party, thereby requiring consent from a concerned individual. Rights of individuals under the Act. 1. Rights of access and right of being informed. The Act provides that an authorized person who collects, stores, processes, analyzes, and protects the personal information must inform the individuals regarding the subject matter of collected information and the purpose of collecting such information. Likewise, the Act grants individuals the right of access to the information such as time, nature, content, objective, as well as method of information collection. 2. Right to rectification. In the event that personal information remaining under the responsibility, protection, or control of any public entity is either wrong or is not based on facts, the Act provides a right to an individual to file an application to correct such information. The Act requires a public entity to communicate the decision of rectification of personal information in case an individual submits notice of rectification along with the relevant evidence substantiating the rectification. Right to restriction of processing. Upon obtaining consent from an individual, the Act and regulation do not provide for specific provision relating to restriction of processing. Legal remedy against breach of data. Right to privacy is a fundamental right, violation of which would amount to criminal offense. The aggrieved party can initiate the criminal proceeding either as a private party or a state party for violating provisions of the Act. The offences such as collection of personal information by any person other than the authorized person, collection of personal data without mentioning the purpose of collecting such information, disclosing the personal information without his or her consent are criminalized by the Act. For acts considered as offence under the Act, punishment of imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or fine not exceeding 30,000 rupees or both is imposed. Additionally, the party aggrieved by an offence can claim compensation for any damage, loss, or pain incurred. The court can grant reasonable compensation to the aggrieved party if the court is of the opinion that such damage, loss, or pain is incurred.